So my name is Dean Barry, and I am the newly installed public servant in residence. Public servant in residence program is a very small initiative that allows for greater collaboration between the government, federal government, and academia. I've been in government for about 20 years now. And I started on a rotational program, which had me move around the government. So I've been at Industry Canada, I've been at Public Safety Canada, and I've been at the Canada Border Services Agency, but most of my career has been spent with what used to be called CIC, Citizenship and Immigration Canada, and now IRCC, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. I got to work with the then Minister of Immigration many years ago, Denis Coderre, and his office. Now, it wasn't a political position, and I didn't have a stake in terms of whether the policy would get approved or not. But this idea of doing better identity management, which in Canada, and at one point there was talk of doing a national ID card, but that didn't happen. But why that was so interesting for me was that I really got to understand how Canada's identity management system actually works, that it was never anything intended to be the way it is today. It was just sort of a patchwork of all the different different levels of government putting in place different kinds of identity policies. And then what we have today is a melange of all of those, and how challenging it would be to make changes to that. So it was dealing at a very high level with some very complex issues. So I enjoyed that as well. The bringing in to Canada of what are called high value migrants, skilled workers. And oftentimes ministers of immigration will talk about, we want to bring in the best and the brightest to Canada. And it's put out there, and there are immigration levels that are set, and they're generally met because a lot of people want to come to Canada, and that's wonderful. And bringing in skilled migrants is very good for our economy, for any number of respects, and good for our society as well. However, I'm interested in how it actually works versus what is proclaimed. So bringing in the best and the brightest, when you're an immigration officer overseas, you'll go and you'll make a presentation to, say, a university, and you'll encourage people to come to Canada. And that's pretty much where it stops. It's an advertisement that we want you to come, but then if you make the decision to come to Canada, how that will work, a lot of that is on you, the applicant. So to find the website, to make an application, to put that forward. It's very different from, say, the private sector, where there is recruiting done and matching, and we want particular skill sets and that type of thing. Whereas Canada, I would say, uses, as many countries do, a very passive approach. Some countries are starting to use a more active model to target, to identify, to do market research and see who would be a good fit, even right down to the specific company or location. So while we're starting to do a little bit of that, I think that Canada could probably look at a more active model. And so I'm interested in doing that type of research and looking at what other best practices might be out there.